design flaw for these BMWs. So here's the original. What's missing is the bottom piece. Apparently the bottom piece likes to break off, that I've gathered in my research. All right, this is another video we got here from Hunter and Chavy Investments. I'm Siv. Today's video is going to be about cost savings, so how to change this oil on this 2020 BMW X7 do yourself. Now flash across screen how much it will cost if you're going to have to do a BMW shop to change out the oil, and you're not sitting in a waiting area in the office trying to get the oil changed on this 2020 BMW X7. This is the BMW I bought for my wife. She crashed it recently. If you haven't checked out that video on how I had this, taking this to the shop and how to get this fixed through your insurance company, and that way you're not surprised on what kind of steps you need to take to get your car fixed and get a rental car. All right, so check out that video there. I haven't already. I'll leave the tab at the part. So we're going to change the oil on this 2020 BMW X7. Change out oil there, and there's an oil filter. Shout out to Brian Keffer from Motorsports. I kind of watched his video and got inspired by his video, so I'm going to do this myself and save myself time and money. That's what this channel's all about, taking out doing our stuff ourselves and saving ourselves some money here along with it. So like I said, this is a BMW X7. Right there is a iDrive, whatever that means, 4.0 I guess, or 4. So that's what we're going to be working on, and then I'll show you how to reset the oil too while we're at it, because there's an engine oil light, and I'll flash across screen what the oil engine light looks like on your car, and you can reset it on your BMW also. All right, things you're going to need before you get started. You're going to need a 5 quart of 010. You need a 5 quart of 0W20. So 5 plus 2 plus 1, 6, 7. So total, it says 6.9 quarts for the BMW. And you need a funnel, something to drain it in. Here's your oil filter that is required. Comes with the new rubber gasket, new crush washer for the oil pan plug. Nice rag. This is a rag, surgical rag, because I am a healthcare provider. We need a 32 millimeter or 1 1/4 socket drive to remove the oil filter. This is a half inch drive ratchet, and then you need a 17 millimeter socket and ratchet for the oil plug underneath the car. And it's a 3/8 drive for this one. And then you need something to drain in, a pair of gloves. I'll show you how to obtain all these from your local Walmart or your local automotive place in the next clip. All right, we are on our way to my local automotive store in my area. We're gonna go get the oil filter, which is about $9.99, as I spoke about earlier in the top of the video. And oil itself is, looks like under the hood, we saw earlier, it requires a SAE 0W20. So that's required for that. I don't know, maybe I should be using OEM BMW oil, but I need to do this quick because our inspection is running out. So I need to get this done. I probably don't need to do the oil change just to get inspection. It has nothing to do with safety or emissions, at least my words. So we'll grab the oil filter, make sure the most important thing that's included in those parts that we need is the crush washer. I remember looking at one of the YouTube videos how to change the oil on the 2020 X7. They recommend changing to a new crush washer instead of reusing it. So we'll do that, make sure those crush washers are in, or we'll buy a separate crush washer to make sure that happens. All right, come along with me for the ride. We'll head over to the automotive store and we'll grab those parts that we need. They do have specifically made sockets to take out the oil filter, which is here for $13.99, but I'm going to grab this for $11.99. Plus, we can use it for other things. And we have the pressure washers, different sizes for $3.99. So right here for $9.99. That's the cartridge we need. STP. Let's make sure what's in there is there. It does come with the rubber. So now at Walmart, at the automotive places, $10 more, $38. So I'm gonna get this from Walmart, 0W20. We're gonna need 7 quarts altogether, as we talked about. So we'll grab 1 and 2 of the little ones, which you'll see down there. All right, let's get started. So pro tip, you want to raise this as high as possible. That way you don't have to jack up the car to get the height you want. So I just raise this up all the way up high as possible, raise the whole BMW up. And then we're gonna pop that trunk, pull it twice, just as indicated, to open up the hood. Once that's open, we'll get to changing our oil. 18 millimeter that holds right where the strut goes, right here, and goes to the back wall there. 18 millimeter. That way I have room to work. All right, we got a lot of dust on here, so what we're gonna do is take off this cover. I'm gonna wipe this down pretty good here. That way this little dust goes in there, especially around here, you know. So the other thing, I'm not a professional by any means. I usually don't wear a belt for these because I don't want to scratch the paint as I'm leaning over. And the professionals that do, they'll cover this. So I'm 5'9". I can reach, but it's gonna hurt my back after a while. So I do have a couple things here. So first is I got old tablecloth we're gonna use to protect the paint on the car. That way when I'm leaning over, I'm not scratching anything. And I have a little mini step ladder. That way you're reaching over without, you know, causing any back problems. So I'm gonna reach over and do that. So how easily I can do this. Let's get the dust off, you know. That way it's not going inside the crankcase. All right, another pro tip is you want to add a 2-inch extension to your 17 millimeter socket. The reason being, there's a skid plate underneath these SUVs, and the hole for the oil change is right there. So you need that little 2-inch extension just so it goes into the oil pan. That way you can reach it easily. All right, so underneath the car, that's the front. As I'm looking back at my garage, garage, as they would say in New England, England. And I'm looking up, here's the skid plates, and it is right there. So that's a 17 millimeter. You can see why I said there's a little step into the skid plate. That's why you need that little extra 2-inch extension to get in there. All right, there's the oil dripping to the pan. Pretty dark there, friends. I don't know how many quarts this thing holds, because it requires about 6.9 quarts, about 7 quarts to refill this back up. So be interesting to find out if that gets filled quickly. We'll soon find out. So another pro tip is we did take that off, and we kind of removed the clips and moved that over, so we gave ourselves more room to work down there. That tip is you can take this off too. This, I believe this is the brake housing. So just pull on this and this will lift right out. That way that gives us more room to work. So you need a wrench that we purchased. It could be a 32 millimeter or it could be a 1 1/4 to twist that off. and then it should come right out. Put our socket and ratchet on there. Gives us a little bit of breathing work. See how now we have this clearance to be able to give it some leverage and ratchet this thing out. There you go. Now we're going to pay attention to how it comes out, because there's some gaskets and crush washers we have to pay attention to as it comes out. Oops, I'm dripping. So we're on our way to go get the correct part. All right, a little update. So, what I gathered, there's a design flaw for these BMWs. So here's the original. What's missing is the bottom piece. Apparently, the bottom piece likes to break off. What I've gathered in my research. So here's the SDP aftermarket. This is the BMW OEM part. So it comes with the O-ring and new crush washer for the drain or drain pan. Same thing goes with the aftermarket STP. Comes with the new O-ring and crush washer. Here's the crush washer we bought. Apparently it's not going to fit, so we're not going to use that. So I have to fetch the bottom piece of this. The design flaw is they're saying you should change out the whole oil filler housing. I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to try to fetch the old piece out, and then worst case scenario, I'll just put it in there without fetching it back. So I'll reinsert this back in and have a professional change my whole oil. So to get it out, I got a clothes hanger. And I took the clothes hanger, went inside the housing, and just pulled up on this hook here. I was able to pop it off. Big design flaw. I mean, it's basically just a little bit of glue holding this part in. Thing is, there's two O-rings that hold this whole housing in. There's one O-ring here. There's one O-ring on the inside. There. So that's why it's almost a guarantee that the bottom will rip off, leaving that part. It should be intact with this. So I'm a fan of OEM, but not this time, because this is an OEM part. Here's the part. Normally you guys want to get the OEM, but I'm not going to put that in. I'm going to put the aftermarket in, just because I don't trust BMW. The way they built this car is, why would you have this brake on you? That's the design flaw. So I'm going to use STP's version. All right, I'll pop it back in. Pro tip to get to the oil filler down there, I popped this off. It came off here. I popped that connector off, and I also popped that sway bar off, which you see off to the side there. It's 18 millimeter that holds right where the strut goes, right here, and goes to the back wall there. 18 millimeter. That way I have room to work. All right, all back together. Covers back on. All right, to reset the engine oiler on the BMW X7, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna hit this start and stop button 3 times. And we're going to wait for the diagnostic window to come up here. Once that comes up, we're going to hit the BC button here and hold it down until the option to reset the engine oil light comes about. Then we're going to toggle through until it says reset engine possible. Oil light engine reset possible. So we're going to hold it down, and it's going to put a question mark. You want to confirm that's what you want to do, and you press BC again, hold it down until it resets itself. So let's do that. And press this 3 times. So pro tip is you don't need to put your foot on the brakes for this procedure. So I'm actually off the brake, off the gas pedal. So let's come off that. And all I'm going to do is just hit this button 3 times, the start and stop button. 1, 2, 3. All right, air service overdue, yeah. We're going to hold this button here until some window comes up, and we'll toggle through the rest. Okay, so I held it. I saw something come up. I'm gonna toggle through, so I let go already. I'm gonna toggle through to oil life right there. Reset possible. So it says it right there. So we're gonna depress this button to reset it. Vehicle check. So we're gonna hold down the button, reset possible for oil light here. We're gonna hold that down. About 20 seconds or so. Says yes, you want to reset? Yes. We're gonna depress the by confirming enter here. It's gonna reset the engine oil light. About 20 seconds. There it is. So reset in progress. So there it is, all done. So oil light has been reset. Let's see, we can turn on the engine to make sure everything is all set for the next run. So it looks like BMW is recommending 9,000 miles for every oil change. I wouldn't do that. I do every 5,000 miles. Every 5,000 miles, do change oil. Keeps the car running pristine. Especially this car is a twin turbo. It's a 3.0, but you know it's a twin turbo. It's throaty sounding. You know. So let's start this up. Make sure everything's in order. So now we're gonna regularly start the car. So I got my foot in the brake. I'm gonna start the car to make sure everything looks good. All right, I think that did it. I don't see any more lights about having the oil engine light to be serviced. So we are gonna go to close. Okay, so we're gonna look at our car. Vehicle status is what we want. So we're going to check our engine oil level. That's what we want. So it says it's okay. So that means we put enough oil in there. If you like this kind of video, I'll help you with cost savings. On this video, I showed you how to do cost savings as far as doing the oil change on your BMW yourself. You know, and we saw at the store how much things cost for the oil, for the filter. So that's how much they would cost you if you can do it yourself. All right, if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel, leave a comment below, and hopefully grow this channel up to 1,000 subscribers. All right, I'll see you in the next one.